Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today we're going to go over, yes, more salt. You knew this was coming due to the fact that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was coming, and that is a timed console exclusive even. So, we got a lot to go over here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is go over more salt, kind of creating that exuding amount due to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just coming out. We're hot off the heels of Helldivers 2. The Xbox fanboys are not in a good place right now, as you'll be able to tell from high to low here. Let's start off with the first one here, which is great. Now, this is talking actually about Ori and the Blind Forest. We're going to talk about Game Pass, stuff like that as well. But Thomas Mahler, which is one of the devs over at Moon Studios, and he's the one that helps create, Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and stuff like that. And basically he's stating, appreciate all the messages about wanting to support Moon. Best way you can do that is just buying Ori. That's right, what have we been saying for how long now? Buy your games, Xbox fanboys. You need to buy your games. Stop renting them. Stop relying on Game Pass. It's going to do more harm than good. Let's continue. So he links both of them via Steam and all the stores and everything like that, right? It's really good, I promise, he states. Laughing, crying emoji with a heart. He's not wrong. I wanted my hands on this. It's just not a system seller to me to bounce over to another platform to play it. But I do want to play it. I know it's a really, really good game, and I do love my platformers. Let's continue here. Robert Marley, why not on Xbox Store? Well, Thomas comes back, states, because then people get it on Game Pass, and that doesn't help Moon. Now people are coming out of the woodwork stating, well, he's kind of had a little bit of a falling out with Xbox and Phil Spencer and all this stuff. It doesn't matter whether they did or not. The fact remains, buy the games. That's how you support these games and studios, that you do enjoy the content that you receive. If you don't enjoy the content, wash your hands, wipe your hands off, move along. But if you do care about A, the industry, and B, the games themselves, buy those games. Without a shadow of a doubt, buy those games, all right? Let's continue. Frogboy Gaming, known as a typical Xbox fanboy. Now this is one of the ones that came across that I was like, how asinine is this? As you can see, all right, my friends, I am losing interest in the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth pretty fast. The poor visual quality and performance mode combined with filler crap and forced participation in minigames is killing the vibe pretty fast. Damn at Xbox Series S, I will never forgive you for this. Doing a tongue-in-cheek joke, if I can say that 10 times fast, about the Series S, because stating that Sony fanboys are constantly blaming the Series S. No, the Series S is at fault for a lot of other reasons, but you can kind of poke fun here all you want. Now, the part that is somewhat true is performance mode is having some issues. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest, and this is coming from me. And my TV, I do have an OLED, it is 4K, it is an LG, it is a newer TV. I honestly, to you guys, cannot tell, and this is somebody that's pretty picky, I cannot tell the difference between anything going on performance-wise. I notice some pop-ins in performance mode more so. I cannot stand playing in 30 frames per second. Like, it looks better, yes, but it just seems very laggy and delayed. It always has, even with Horizon Forbidden West, stuff like that. I always choose performance mode. But as far as the blurriness and other stuff or any other hiccups, I'm not seeing that. I'm not having an issue. My photos, my screenshots, everything that I take within the game looks phenomenal. Now, I'm not saying everybody out there is incorrect in this matter, and you may have different experiences across different, TVs and so on and so forth, perhaps. So I'm not going to discount that. The part I'm discounting here that's total asinine, that is a load of crap here, is the fact that he states, again, combined with filler crap and forced participation in minigames. There's no forced participation. First of all, there's a couple you're going to have to do for sure, but not forced. Like, you're not doing 90% of your side quests or main quests. You're not doing mini game stuff. It's very far and few between. And I'm about, I would say getting close to over 30 hours. And at that point, has he not played the previous Final Fantasy VII games? Has he not played these before? Because they have tons of mini games, side quests, side content, shenanigans galore, tons of stuff to do, especially when you reach the gold saucer, of course, right? Now, so to me, that's just asinine. He's just looking for clickbait, some more salt to be drawn here, has a blue check mark, so the engagement farms more money, stuff like that. So just kind of want to throw that out there. Another salty person, also probably farming for engagements, and also just somebody who's just not very genuine. It's hard to give anybody any credibility when they're not genuine. But let's continue on here. One of my favorite blowhards of all time, King David, where if you say anything about him, he wants to invite you over onto his podcast and try to kind of bully or belittle people, have them call in. Definitely has some weirdos galore. I'm not going to state that. So let's take this for example, like you see here. Wow, my local GameStop is closed up. Went to go get Rebirth. Oh well, Game Pass for the win. What? Game Pass for the... What does this have to do with Game Pass? What does this have to do with Game Pass? This has absolutely nothing to do with Game Pass. So you refuse to get... And if you are a physical collector, again, what's that have to do with Game Pass? And if you're not a physical supporter and collector, why would you not just buy it on the PlayStation Store if you chose to do so and wanted to play? What does this have to do with GameStop? And is this even your GameStop? This thing looks like it's been closed for quite a while now. This isn't, when was the last time you left your house, buddy? I don't want to point fingers or make fun of what's going on, but the fact is, it doesn't look like you leave your house too much. You rely on your community to back you up, post gifts all the time, act like a lion when in fact you're just a walrus. They can't get to anywhere too quick. Now, the reason I have to pull that out so hard is because of the fact that this is ridiculous. This is the most... And the fact that he has quite a few likes and stuff, even at the time that this was there, this has nothing to do with GameStop. It has nothing to do with Game Pass. This is the dumbest tweet I've seen in a long time. I'm just going to throw that out there. This, hands down, is just absolutely stupid and reeks of salt. He refuses to do it just to throw it in there. He was never going to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth anyway. Let's continue on here. The Black Viking, Square not signing any more exclusivity deals after this. Laughing, crying emoji. So funny, dude. So he's going off of Christopher Dring. In terms of UK box sales, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's opening week is down nearly 30% over the launch of the previous game. The first game came out during the peak of COVID lockdowns, GFK figures, and goes on a little bit more about that. So here's where I come into terms in wordplay, right? So whenever a Sony fanboy or a fan or somebody just reporting on numbers uses UK box charts, because nowhere else really has them for the most part, this is the most prominent one. When it's used and it doesn't make Xbox look that good, it's UK box charts only. It's digital. You got to worry about digital. You got to worry about this and that. It doesn't matter. You're stupid for using UK box charts. How stupid of you fanboys to do that. Then when it turns around, then they turn around and they're going to rethink this and that, and they try to poke fun, right? You can't be the hypocrite you want to be. You can use it for what it is, but you can't be a hypocrite and cry foul when it doesn't benefit you, and then cry, oh, this is definitely doom and gloom, when it does benefit you in your narrative. This is absolutely absurd. Another stupid piece of a post. I can't understand why people follow idiots like this. I would like to say it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but it's really not. They're wholeheartedly believing this in their delusion. So as you can see, so King David has to chime in on this as well. Don't look good. don't look good. You know what doesn't look good is Xbox's predicament. What doesn't look good is rumors that just came out today at the time of this recording that Starfield's hitting other platforms, namely PlayStation, around November through December timeframe. And that's with a very solid leaker that was right the past few times. So, that'd be a rumor for now, but that's what doesn't look good. Uh-oh. Hold the line, buddy. Keep holding that line. Colt Eastwood had to chime in on this as well, just an FYI. The biggest games are on more than one platform. Quoting Xbox. You're right. Xbox is the one that's going to be putting its biggest games on other platforms, but you're not going to see Ghost of Tsushima over on Xbox. You're not going to see Helldivers 2 on Xbox. You're not going to see any first-party game of Sony on Xbox. We'll go over that in a second. That's the great part there. Uni Sensei. This is just a good call out. This is pretty good. Xbox only accounted for 4% of Hogwarts Legacy sales. Time to abandon ship, boys. Come over to PC where the water's nice. Speaking of Hogwarts Legacy here, it shows UK box charts like we were mentioning before. PS5 58%, Switch 29% respectively, PS4 6%, because that came out later as it was. Xbox Series, both of them combined, 4%. Now, here we go back to the Black Viking, right? Do the UK box charts matter? Or do they not matter? Are we looking at digital sales as well? Is there any context to the UK box charts? I think there's always a narrative to look at it and see what happens with it. But again, when does it fit your narrative? Does this fit your narrative? Or are you taking that back and that was just a tongue-in-cheek joke? You decide. Let's go over to Jamie Moran, which everybody likes to call Jamie Moran, because that's what he is. Gamers will lose their mind over anything these days. Xbox has always done some strange collector's edition consoles. Just because you can overreact to something doesn't mean you have to. And he quotes in the picture the Homer Simpson with the Simpsons movie, which, you know, I don't think that was a bad designed console. I think it made sense for the time. Now, the reason that we are overreacting, or that most of the community would be overreacting, is because Xbox Series S and X has had more special edition consoles and controllers and controller types of different myriad of stuff that aren't even special edition. And the consoles aren't selling like the 360 era. So why are we comparing the 360 era with special edition consoles? And yet you want to compare that to the modern consoles that are still over 2 million behind the Xbox One generation. That's why people are overreacting. Stop with the lewd freaking God, just the advertising and just the nonsense. This is not for the gamers. All the stuff they're doing for the Xbox Series and the special editions is not for the gamers. Most recently, you have another SpongeBob Square Series X. This is not for the gamers, guys. They're doing everything but putting out the games that you're asking for and doing the deals and the quality that you're asking for and giving you controllers and special edition consoles with Bluey, with SpongeBob, with Tom and Jerry, with Oreos, Pringles. It's like, what are we doing here? This is absolutely asinine. This is why people are overreacting, Jamie. So get your crap together. All right, good old Andrea Piccinini's rebrand, the Catfish here, extension. Starfield is a masterpiece. Games that are being praised this year feel mediocre in comparison and doesn't have a 10% of what makes Starfield great. Haters can keep crying with a kiss emoji. Weird, but they always do that. And then they list, of course, below a few things you can do in Starfield, which is, if you sum all of this up, it's fall asleep. It's being bored to tears. It's moving on to another game that actually has fun in it. Now, again, I'm not going to take away anything from the sci-fi fans out there and for the minority out there that truly do enjoy this game. And I'm not saying there are some that don't, but as a whole, this is a very mid game. This is a very boring game. If you want to stock 1,000+ potatoes in your bedroom on your ship or any other compartment in your ship, feel free to do so. I have other things I'd rather do in video games myself, that not being one of them. We'll take a couple of these real quick. Disguise and infiltration. Cool. Crafting armor, weapons, materials, and furniture to personalize your houses. Cool. Been able to do that in Skyrim for how long now? New Game Plus expands the main story in several times. Plenty of room for furniture expansions, yada yada. I don't care. I'll go play Animal Crossing. I'll go play Dreamlight Valley. Part of Disney. I'll go do anything else. I don't care. This game is made to fall asleep on. This is not this is not a masterpiece by any means, but keep on touting that. The masterpiece, in my opinion, is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. If we grew up with Final Fantasy VII, this is such a love letter in every way, shape, and form. That is a fun game. I love playing Queen's Blood. I love playing the mini games. I love the side quests. I love the main story. I love the exploration because it's not bogged down by 30 frames capped. It's not bogged down by slow traversal. We can go on and on here. Let's move on. And to move on to the great gaming prophet NYC, and this is what I brought up multiple times, but let's go over this. It's crazy to see PlayStation first-party game MLB The Show 24 releasing day one into Xbox Game Pass, but not in PlayStation Plus Premium. PlayStation treats Xbox gamers like first-class citizens and treats PlayStation gamers like second-class citizens. Completely incorrect. He knows this. He continues to lie on every post he posts. That's what's sad. But MLB The Show is not a decision to be put on Game Pass by Sony themselves. They published the game. They would lose publishing rights if they didn't abide by the MLB rules and what the stipulations are, where they eventually said, hey, we want to be on other platforms that we can. We want to be on Microsoft. We want to be on Xbox. If PlayStation wanted to lose that major licensing, the major publishing, which why would you do that? That's bank money. So every time that MLB does show up on Game Pass, Sony's getting a chunk of money. MLB is getting the most money, obviously, but PlayStation gets a chunk of money. When it's being booted up and played in Game Pass, they're still getting a chunk of money because they are publishers for the game. Whatever deal was made to bring this over to Game Pass, they're getting a nice chunk from that. My question is, ultimately, Microsoft has to look at this. Is MLB The Show going to consistently be day one on Game Pass forever? If you're a big MLB fan and this is your jam and you enjoy this game, how long is it going to be on there? How many times are they going to fork out that bag of money for MLB 24 The Show? Because you have to recognize, is this helping increase those subscriber sales? If they find out the data is not the case, if this is hardly being played, if this is an issue where they play with it and maybe on MLB The Show 25 or 26 or 27 or whatever year they decide to maybe remove it as being day one for a while, and if they see some subscribers fall off because of that or that it leans towards that might be the reason, that can be something for concern there. Either way, does the money bag make sense? Because you have to put a pretty penny to put MLB The Show. It has a lot more and holds a lot more value than Madden does. And I'm a bigger fan of Madden and I enjoy football a lot more than baseball, but I do know between the quality and MLB The Show, this game holds its value a little bit more. So we'll just kind of have to see, but just kind of wanted to debunk another salty fanboy there in regards to trying to use that for console war tribalism and state that that's a Sony first-party game. It is not a Sony first-party game. Sony only publishes it. It's an MLB game ultimately, and they will go where they're going to get continuous money. And Sony is going to abide by those rules because they're a publisher and they get money regardless. Would they like to keep it exclusive? Absolutely. But in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't hurt them one bit. So That being said, we'll wrap up the video here. I really appreciate everybody. Your support is amazing. At the time of this recording, 1,400 subscribers out of the 1,500 goal. We're only 100 away now. We were hitting these subs like crazy, so thank you all so much. Thank you for sticking around. Hopefully you enjoy the content. It means the world to me. Truly, truly does. That being said, if you haven't already, definitely consider liking, subscribing, helping this video out and the channel via the algorithm. It really does do wonders. And if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself. So thank you all so much. And just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see you next time on the next Xvault gaming video. Take care.